We can talk for just a minute about...
By the way, I met Billy Graham.
You did? What was that like?
Well, you know, he was an icon. I was at the White House, not to brag, but I've been to the White House like 5 times, but not to brag. One of those occasions, I was seated next to Reverend Billy Graham, and I said, Mr. Reverend Graham, my father, you were his idol, and on and on and on. And he just looked at me kind of grumpily and went, like that. And then when we had to stand, when they did the presidential theme music, da 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 da, and President Clinton came in and everybody was standing, he was having a hard time, and I tried to help him, and he went like that. And so I thought, oh my God, he's a grumpy old man. And I had these images of him, this notion of him as this wonderful hero of our family. And I hadn't thought of him as a hero for a long time, but I thought he was kind of closer to being saint-like than a grumpy old man. So that was my...
Maybe this is a good moment then to depart for a minute about what the track I was going to go down and talk instead about. You've been at the White House 5 times. You're a public persona. You have in a way almost a responsibility to this persona, and yet you write in the book, I am intermittently aghast that everything I have written will actually be an open book, and my stomach lurches at the thought of public scrutiny. There's an insistence on, it feels very authentic, that you're writing to discover something about yourself, and it's a private act, and yet it's a public act. So do you want to talk about...
It's contradictory, and the impulse of the actual writing comes out of that need to know, the neediness to know, the curiosity, the desire to find the pattern. And then when you get to revision, that's when it's going to be published. So it's a dual mind that is going on when I'm doing the writing. When I'm done and I know that it's going to be published, then I have a crisis, an existential crisis of, here's this bit of me that's going to go out in the world, and it's gone. It's lost. It's in the hands of other people, and I can't take it back. I can't revise it. I can't make it any better, and that's going to be the record of that. Writing this book made me realize how uncomfortable I am with that notion of being interpreted based on extant materials that are left, whether it's published or left in a garage somewhere. And I made a very big decision that I've been wrestling over for years, which is, what do you do with your so-called papers, your archives? I've had libraries who've offered to house these things, or even pay me quite handsomely for the papers. Mm-hmm. What they actually want is the dirt, the worst things that you would never want to reveal, bad drafts, but also letters to friends who are confessing they had affairs or whatever. And they want it all. And I thought, this is private. Mm-hmm. For one thing, I can't share somebody else's letters. So I decided that I'm going to burn it all. I'm not going to share it. And it was such a relief to me. It was such freedom to know I could write in my journals. I could keep these mementos for myself, because I am like Hansel and Gretel, leaving crumbs behind. I want to find the crumbs and go back again, but I don't want anybody else to see it. So I made the decision that I'm not going to burn it. I'm going to shred it.
Why shred instead of burn?
Environment.
Okay.
But I have the instructions. I have this woman, and it's written down, and she already had. You can call these trucks, and they'll come by in front of your house, and they park there, and they're like giant shredders. And then, I don't know, you could probably do furniture. You could do anything. You throw the boxes in there, and you witness it being destroyed. And so you have the knowledge. You didn't throw it in the garbage, and somebody went and picked it out and did something with it. So that's what's going to happen.
You were telling
Except
me...
the photos. Because it's not superstitious exactly, but I feel the images belong to other people, and it just seems a little weird to shred other people's images. Mm-hmm. So, except for those I that I don't like anymore. Then I can do. I have ripped up photos of people I will never have anything to do with in the future. You know, I just found one the other day.
And yet you write that
I'm
it's
not a nice person. A lot of people think, oh, she's so nice. She's with the Joyla Club, mother and daughter. No, I'm not. In many ways, I'm very nasty, and I say bad words, and I can be mean. But